Hello, and welcome to 10 Very Big Books, a Malazan Readthrough podcast. My name is Peter Bond, and with me today is AJ Fileri, the producer of the show. They're doing well, and they do not have the novel coronavirus.
I do not have the coronavirus, as a matter of fact, but I...
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood, but unfortunately my partner does. So that's a bummer, but I'm feeling good, so...
We also have Joshua Dean Baker.
Oh, I'm second? This is so lovely. I feel wonderful.
The Dream Snaker, the one, the only. And then, most importantly, on this day, here aside me in the human flesh, we're touching skin right now, is India Jones.
Woo! Hello. I've never felt happier to be in the space of meat with my PB, the meat space. You heard it here first. We are so happy.
We're in the meat space, that's right. I am here in the city of Philadelphia, touching India's flesh. I was supposed to be touching Josh and AJ's, but plans changed.
But it is the week of May 16th, and COVID is now once again raging in the United States. So
yeah, I'm 8 people's close contact. So really loving life over here.
Living your best life yet. But yeah, so that's what's going on. I'm underneath a large cheetah-themed blanket. Had a meatball sub today. We listened to some old Italian people talk about the Eagles.
Oh,
so
go Birds!
That's
go
the
Birds.
good shit.
Go Birds!
That's the good stuff.
Go Birds! Having a good time, having a great trip.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on over here. How are you doing, Joshua Dean Baker?
Pretty all right. My birthday was yesterday. I made a lovely dinner for me and my fiance. Had a nice
Happy birthday, Josh.
Had a nice salmon with some mashed potatoes, made creamed spinach for the first time ever. Fucking bomb. Recommend
Nice.
it.
Did you have a dessert?
Before dinner, I was driving to go get some stuff from the grocery store, and I saw a little farm market I haven't noticed, and there was an ice cream stand out front, so I did have a nice 3 p.m. milkshake, and that was my dessert.
Nice.
All right. Well, we've caught up with everyone. So do you want to start the show?
Sure.
I was trying to snub you. I thought it would be a fun joke.
I mean, we did catch up with me. I've been exposed to the novel coronavirus, and I do not have it, so
Yeah.
that's how I'm doing.
There's nothing else to be said about AJ's life right now.
There's nothing else to be said about it. They do not have the novel coronavirus.
I went back to Stormvale Castle to just beat some guys in one hit. It was very fun.
I've not played in 3 weeks, and it's killing me.
Yeah, this is the first time I played in several weeks as well.
Is this a gamer thing?
It's
Elden Ring,
Elden
baby. Come on. Oh, I'm also at my partner's standing desk because she's in bed, so I can use her desk. So I'm
her
recording.
desk is nice.
How is the standing desk? I've never really used one.
The energy's great. I can do this.
You're jumping around.
Oh, for the audience,
AJ
AJ is moving back and forth, shaking their
hiked
arms.
up.
I'm jogging.
Wow.
I'm
Jogging in
great.
place.
Yogging, as the Europeans say.
All right. Shall we?
Yeah, let's get into it.
If we must.
All right. I'm gonna read the chapter 11 summary. Oh, by the way, this is a Malazan read-through podcast.
Oh.
we are here to discuss
Shit.
Toll the Hounds chapters 13 and 14.
11 and 12.
11 and 12, baby.
-2, 11 and 12.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
yeah.
Didn't let you finish.
You cut me off.
It brings us to the beginning of book 3. So let's get into it. There are some good chapters. Chapter 11. While Krupp ruminates about children and labor, Harlow brings Bones back to Devan Toll. Torvald Nam wonders about Studious Locke, about his past in One-Eyed Cat, and what are under the masks. Nam breaks in to see the Lady of the State to speak about the issue. He has a cryptic conversation with the woman, then leaves, thinking more on Studious. Krupp and Baruch speak about violence and what counts as it. Barothol has set up his business, but thugs come to break it up. He fights them off and starts to make armor and weapons. We see a montage of characters across the city, coming to assassins who descend upon trolls. Inside the bar, Blue Pearl is looking at some casks. A ghost passes. Ansi is following a rat, and Blend is watching nobles. Then the assassins attack, and a melee bursts out in the bar. Mallet is struck in the stomach by a crossbow and dies. Blue Pearl is killed. Ansi fights off a few with a sharper and works with Picker. Blend wakes up after being struck down. Barothol and Chower fight off more assassins about to enter. Looking around and seeing the dead, Ansi says he feels old. Cutter is walking through the city when he hears a familiar voice. He identifies her as Chalice de Arl, and she does not correct him. Josh, did you do a lot of work as a kid?
I mean, in some ways, yeah. My dad has a second job as a landscaper, so I helped him out with that in the summers.
Did a lot of landscaping.
Yeah, my parents made me get a job when I was 14.
Would you liken that to working in the mines?
Was that similar to the child labor experience?
Well, in the fact that I was under 18 and therefore a minor, then yes, I guess you could compare the two.
Nice. Minor joke.
Nice. That was actually...
Oh, that was so good. So good.
Thank you, India.
Well, I think I took the brave anti-child labor stance last week. I'm glad to see Krupp did as well.
Yes. This was, can I say real quick, this was the first time so far in the book that I understood Steve being like, Krupp narrates this a lot and people would be upset. I literally hadn't put two and two together until this opening that Kruppa was the narrator most of this book. AJ has said that in the audio it's very clear.
Yeah.
But I was just very oblivious to it until this first one when I was like, God, this narrator's really fucking like languishing in this. And then I was like, I got it now. I figured it out.
Yeah. Good job, buddy. Rule of thumb, I guess. The beginning and end of most chapters is Krupp.
But see, if Steve had never told me, I would have never noticed.
Sure.
The reason too, like if you have the audiobooks, he talks like this and that's how you know it's him.
Yeah. It's
I love it.
It's a very wacky
But do
voice.
you guys not feel like there's like this stylistic difference outside of even the audiobook thing?
Yeah, it's super long.
They're all just words, buddy. It is so rare for me to put them to like hear a voice when I read these words most of the time. I was shocked I finally noticed.
I'm just saying Krupp speaks in a certain way. It's not like he...
It's very roundabout. It's very rhymey.
Yeah,
there's a lot of like word and then statement and then the same word. Like he ends this section with soon, one hopes, soon.
Correct.
Like that's...
Correct.
Does stuff like that.
I agree, Peter.
I agree.
It might just be because we're together, but I agree with everything you're saying.
The energy does feel like you two hosting as like a co-host, and me and Josh are here as guests.
Yes.
Well, we're under this blanket to help with the audio, so it does feel like we're having a kind of sleepover pajama
just
time.
us, very intimate.
Yeah.
All right, so we touch in and we see that's continues working at the mine. So India, there's this scene where we return to this now kind of estate, which some of the characters have amassed at, and we get more look at Studious Locke, and then there's kind of a conversation around that. Is this grabbing you? Is this something you want to follow more on?
Can you repeat the question? I just got so excited to stare at you while you asked me the question. I didn't even listen to it.
So we've kind of Torvald, Scorch, and Laugh. Their plot has kind of moved to this estate with these kind of strange new figures. Is this something you're interested in?
I am interested in it.
Okay.
I am interested in it. I'm interested in the hijinks of it all. Torvald, like thinking that he's doing a thing by like jumping onto the roof and like rolling all around, trying to be all stealthy, only for her to be sitting in the room that he comes in like, oh, hey, I bet you did that on accident or to tell me something. You weren't just breaking into my house. That was really good. I love it. I'm interested. I'm eager. I think I like it. I'm intrigued. And I think it's funny. I think it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Plus, I think the three of them are such pleasurable characters to spend time around.
Agreed.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I just like, I don't know. I'm always good to hang out. It's a good vibe to hang out there.
Me too.
AJ, do you got big Studious Locke ideas?
No, but I like the classic Steve thing of being like, yeah, this character's name is Studlock. Nope, just kidding. That's short for Studious Locke, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Got you.
Gotcha again. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. Cool, I guess. I don't have real feelings about Studious Locke as a person yet. Mysterious stuff going on. Can't wait to figure it out. What it is. What is happening?
Who do you think's smarter, Scorch or Left?
Oh man.
All right, it was a joke. You don't need to.
Yeah, I know. It's that's hard though. I don't know if I think they're matched in wits. That's what I would say.
That's what I would say.
I do just want to. We skipped right past Harlow talking to Devada non-toll and giving him new.
Yeah, you guys were really stoked on him last time.
Loved him.
Yeah, it's
Great
fucking
guy.
sick. I can't believe you just fully glossed over it.
Completely
Pete.
went right over it. Agreed.
Okay.
Not
He
agreed,
brings them-
actually.
Harlow's like, yeah, I'll bring you splints, and then he accidentally grabs like leg bones from
Inala legs
from an
like last book.
in lava, yeah. And he's like, are these splints? And he's like, no, but I should be able to use them as my real legs. So I guess that's also a thing you can do as a Talanomass, is just like switch different bones out for your body parts.
I wanted to talk
But
about
I-
this because we have
I
literally
thought
met.
that
We've literally met a Talanomass who have been like, oh, my bones are gone. Guess I'll rest here. And this one's like, nope, give me your fucking cat bones. Here we go.
Right.
But I thought that he said that he needs to like do the ritual. Like there needs to be a ritual to be able to use the legs.
He was trying to figure out if he had undergone the Talon ritual. He like wasn't even sure if that's what's happened to him because he like literally can't even see himself.
Yeah, I guess he could just be cursed, right? Like he could just
Yeah.
be some dude who was cursed to live forever.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Sounds like he's a Talon though, or as part of that whole thing. Because like, correct me if I'm wrong. He was like. He had been buried underground and just happened to be around the ritual. Is that what happened? And then he like became undead and was like, well, fuck, I'm just stuck underground now.
It's kind of what it sounds like.
I think that's what
That
happened,
sucks.
right? Yeah. Anyway, so I thought it was cool that he can swap out his legs for brand new legs like a Lego person. That's all I got.
All right, so India, they're having this conversation and they're doing a classic Steve, two people having a philosophical conversation scene. Where they're like, so is there a difference between someone just murdering a guy and someone raising the price of bread to murder a bunch of guys?
I love it.
What do you think? Big difference? Do you think this counts?
I have no time for this at all. I have no time.
This
for
is
it.
not what you want out of the book.
No, it's not at all. Like, obviously, there are a lot of parallels. We talk about them all the time to like real world capitalism, colonialism. We get it. So
We get it.
Sure,
Why are we still talking
heard
about it, Peter?
So at the end of the day, I'm just gonna say it is different because you're indirectly killing someone rather than directly killing someone. All right, let's just be logical about it. We don't have to be philosophical about it. Like, but if we're gonna be philosophical about it, okay, you're killing a lot of people, and that's not cool either.
AJ, I see you just switched on a lava lamp. How do you feel?
What?
I didn't see a lava
AJ,
lamp.
turn that lava lamp off.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I kind of meant like we got a college lava lamp vibe going
Oh,
on.
I see. Okay, yes, like we're high talking about like.
Yeah, we're going around the beach.
Whoa.
We're
Whoa.
High on life and companionship is what I
Yeah,
mean.
and whippets.
And whippets, yeah, of course. No, I mean, I don't know. I mean, yes, they're both certainly heinous acts. I think my problem is with the verbiage exactly. I don't know if I would classify raising the price of bread as violence, but that's like a semantic thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely a bad, I don't know.
Yeah,
it definitely
I agree.
has
It-
consequences, but
It gets caught up in a language game and not like a more important conversation, you know?
yeah. I mean, I guess to say it's an act of violence, sure. I don't know, but to say that it is violence exactly is but like I said, it's semantic. They're both bad, and I don't know.
And Josh, you told me the other day that it doesn't matter because another company would come and start selling cheaper bread, and then like kind of the competitive nature of markets would kind of even it all out, you said.
I think capitalism is inevitable, and to do anything other than try and get to the top of it is a waste of your fucking time.
Damn, dude.
Wake up, sheeple.
Yes, I just said the word sheeple today. I so agree.
India called us all sheeple. See, she said we're Americans are sheeple.
I did say that. I did. In fairness, I did say that. I
Yes.
said we are very comfortable. We live a very comfortable life.
Oh, you people will move mountains for comfort.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah. So there's this scene of, what's new? People having this type of conversation in these books,
It's a good combo.
But man, it's a good convo. It's something I feel like is relevant to the internet. I feel like I read about this online.
Yeah, it seems like the kind of passage that would pop up a lot in forums and stuff.
Yeah. Pete, are we gonna go back and talk about the reveals with Studious Lock and stuff? I noticed you didn't do that in the recap. Are we gonna go back and talk about those things?
What do you want to talk about?
The fact that there's just like 3 unmasked segula, a thing that we didn't know they could be doing in the city.
Wait, what?
The segula,
that work for what's her name?
Yeah. With the people who scared Scorch and left. Yeah.
Yeah. Lazador, Mad Run, and Studious Lock. Yeah.
Look at you.
I'm looking at the reread.
What are these fucking names? So do we and the mistress seems to just know that this is a chill thing and is fine with it. So are we just like setting up 3 segula versus Traveler and fucking Karsa? Because that sounds pretty sick.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I love the segula. Where's Lady Envy?
On a boat. She has not gotten off her boat yet.
She's on the boat
I
in the
miss her
harbor.
so much.
No, that's not. Is that Envy? I thought that was Spite. Spite came with Mappo.
Spite's on the. You're right.
I don't
Maybe
know
this is Lady Envy. Look, maybe she went and got more segula. She had the one that she was fucking with.
That's actually that's a point.
Yeah.
That's something.
I don't know if it is really something, but it could be. You know, that's these books. You know,
that's these books exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, Josh, no, I think it is. It's fucking sick, but also it's just, I don't know, it doesn't really mean anything right now to me. It's like, yeah, it exists, but...
Okay, I just wanted to make sure so that the Discord's not like, they didn't even catch the segula thing. I want to make sure people know we saw it.
We saw it.
There's also the one-eyed cat talk.
That's a dumb shit name for a town, and I will stand by that.
I love one-eyed cat. That's one of my favorite names of towns on Genabacchus, bro.
That's like if that's like any of the shit in PA where it's just all those dumb ass names that make no.
King of Prussia.
You got something to say?
Yeah, one-eyed cat is nonsense to me, and that's in a world where people just go by the name Crocus Younghand. Like you could be whatever,
you, bro.
but I
Go
think
birds.
Go birds.
Yeah. May as well call it Schookletown or some bullshit made up word.
Schookletown.
All right. Well, there's a short scene with Barothol, AJ, where we see him trying to set up the shop.
Yeah.
There's some trouble.
Yeah. Right here in River City.
Right here in River City. Have you ever gotten any flack for trying to operate your business without a permit?
No, because I operate under the legal restrictions of the state of Pennsylvania. As set out by all the paperwork I had to do to set up the LLC that we make the show under. I only make podcasts in this office. I never do anything else, and it's actually pretty fun because I can for the other work I do for my never mind. That's a totally tangent. I don't need to talk.
I love this. I'm so.
I can
curious.
play video games at my desk and still call it work because I have a show that I talk about video games on.
So good, so good.
I'm working right now too.
She's on the clock.
No, I haven't. And this scene is another scene in this chapter that was just, I mean, we start with child labor and then Krupp and Baruch have that whole conversation about what is violence. And then Barothol's just trying to operate a business and he's getting fucking, I almost said union busted, but I guess he's not in a union.
No, but it's
kind of similar, right? There, he's getting rules and regged out of operating. A lot of capitalism in this chapter.
Well, he didn't do the right paperwork.
He didn't do the right paperwork. No. Well, he tried to do the right paperwork though.
He did.
He did try. But hey, if the system's gonna try and fuck you over, all you have to do is say, if you don't let me do this, I'm gonna blow you up. So I guess violent revolution,
Yeah.
Or the threat of violent revolution.
Calling for violence on the show.
Yeah. It's a call to action.
Call like, comment, and
comment, and run an illegal
and
smithy.
Go burn down the government building in your town. That's what we're saying.
All right, listen. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've just been waiting till we got to the real meat of the chapter. So
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
we
Cutter
then have
and Chalice.
Cutter and Chalice. We'll get to them, but there's kind of this montage through other characters who don't really get highlighted in the city, and then we come to Kroll's bar. And
I just want to say I really loved the Murillo Stoney stuff. Talking about how
it's great.
When they talk and then she cries for the first time and then feels like the more she does it, the easier it gets. I just thought that was really nice. So I just wanted to touch on that.
Just two good characters that are good.
Yeah. To Kroll's bar.
Yes, so outside of Kroll's bar, the montage kind of ends with those assassins, and then they kind of descend, and there's a huge bloodbath, I would say.
Yeah.
So, India, what did you think of this scene?
I was upset. these characters didn't mean a lot to me, but it's just like the way it happened. It was kind of like a Red Wedding vibe where I was just like, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening? And I was very upset. And then, was it Mallet? Mallet died?
Yeah.
That was rough.
Devastating.
Yeah.
So I was upset. And also just like, I hate when characters like, and Steve does this a lot, when important characters to me die in the most unimportant ways. And I'm just like, this is so upsetting. Like you literally like didn't even stand a chance. You just like died so unceremoniously. Like, and that's what happened. And that made me sad. So I was very not hot on this. I was very upset, but I did like it because like, it wasn't like a battle, you know, like we weren't like slinging magic and making huge waves of magic that I don't understand. It was just like some good kill you with a crossbow.
We're in the bar. It's close. It's personal.
Good old-fashioned assassination, you know?
Exactly.
If you can't smell their fear, it's not right. It doesn't feel good.
And it's also sad that like they just realized like a little too late. Like just a little too late what was going to go down.
That's all it takes, baby.
I do agree. I think it's always sadder when, these people don't have some big hero moment or something. It's just like, well, then he got shot.
Right.
And then he's dead.
And now he's dead. And that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more real in a sense, but.
Yeah. But I mean, Mallet, we haven't even seen in this book at all until this part where he dies. It's just really, really devastating. Really devastating. And then there's the whole kick open the gate whiskey jack, which I don't know what that means, but.
Well, it's like, open up hell for me. I'm coming, buddy.
Yeah, I guess I guess part of me was trying to take it literally, like come out with your ghost army, friend.
That would be really good. We actually have never seen Ghost Whiskey Jack. He's like the one, which makes me think he's somewhere else.
I don't want to see.
He's part of that.
We all know. We all hated the fucking Ghost Army, and I never want to see a Ghost Army again.
You liked House of Chains a lot.
Yeah, I didn't like the Ghost Army part.
I fully thought she was talking about Return of the King, and I was like, I didn't know India was so anti-Aragorn,
Well, she is. That's documented in our
What's
very
Return
first
of the King?
Patreon bonus.
The last Lord of the Rings thing.
That too was fucking stupid. Remember that? We watched that.
Yes, is not my favorite beat in that book.
That was so fucking stupid. Whenever just one random rant gripe, whenever a random Ghost Army comes to save the day, I am out. That is bullshit. That is a like
anti-Ghost Army.
Well, it's just like it's so convenient. Like,
now,
the Ghost Army came.
India, what are your thoughts on giant eagles coming to save heroes in desperate situations? Yay or nay?
Giant eagles. Also, well, are they trained?
Well,
no, wild.
The thing is this, we're proud Americans, so if eagles show up, it's no big deal. Yeah. Am I right? Go birds.
Yeah,
go
you're
birds.
right. Yeah.
Go
If
birds.
Nick Foles just wung his way down, 2019 Nick Foles just wung his way down and lifted me up, that would be perfect.
I like you had to date the Nick Foles.
yeah.
India, what about houses that grow from acorns? How do you feel about that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't get that. I don't get that reference.
I'm very cold on that as well. I'm very, very cold on that as well.
How do you feel about the aerosol?
I don't even. You know what?
All right,
that's basically Ghost Army too.
Josh, how is this kind of brawl with the assassins?
Really, I mean, visceral and very well written, but yeah, ultimately devastating. So many, like these motherfuckers know how to kill and almost survive. Poor Mallet and what's his face with the barrel. Kind of funny though. And then maybe the Bard Fisher just like slaughtered 8 of them and then vanished kind of up in the air on that one still. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
To me, this is one of the few times the assassins of Darujistan really feel like a potent force.
Correct.
Yeah. But it took like 20 of them for 5 retired soldiers.
Yeah, but what I mean is like, I think in the first book, you really don't see that much of them. And when you do, they're just kind of like weird, I feel like faceless enemies for our heroes to fight.
And they always lose.
Where here, it's like these guys just showed up, boom, they killed all these guys. And like, yeah, it was an even thing, but like they're going to fight heroes. So of course heroes are going to kill more, but I don't know. I feel like they're more threatening here than they are at other times in the series.
I remember in the first book, I think Crocus Cutter was running from an assassin.
Yeah.
And like, I remember just thinking like, this boy's like 14. And he's just outrunning, outsmarting and like the most deadly force. And then they all like, I think at one point, what's her name? Sorry?
Sorry?
Is that her name?
Absolutely.
At the time.
Sorry, who?
she killed one. Like, I don't know. They just always die, and they always die on like they are just not. But
there's also like six of those one point of view chapter like paragraphs that are like just some dude named Smashel Mom Bomb.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, you know, they die
Gun
at
to,
the
your,
end.
gun to your head, you can't say that again.
Smashel Mom Bomb.
There we go.
And
Yeah,
then
you did it.
Then they die at the end of the scene or
yes,
something.
Yeah,
like with
yeah.
Ralik Nam too.
Yeah,
like,
there's a bunch of them.
yeah. So it was just surprising to actually
There's like
see.
3 at the start of this book. So
Yeah. Those two ghosts.
AJ, what'd you anything to add about this sequence?
No, I think it was wild. I think it's been a bit since we've had like a big battle scene.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
I feel like it's like the first thing like this in this book.
Yeah, it was a welcome kind of break for my brain in a chapter to be like, okay, this is the stuff that's easy to envision and I don't have to do any like critical thinking. I can just like see someone get shot, and then it's like sad when stuff happens and obviously it's affecting, but like I know what a crossbow in Mallet's stomach and then a knife in the eye looks like. Like I get it. Like I don't need to like I wonder what that means, you know? It's just like
and it's also easier than like the magic in the last book where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, whirling whirlwind of death and bones killed them all. Yeah,
right,
this is easier.
Right. But no, it was good. I liked it. Good old-fashioned fighting.
This brings us to our last scene.
Pete's favorite scene.
Chalice and Crocus have a chance meeting.
Mm-mm.
India, where are we headed?
Bone Town. No, I don't know. I feel like who was expecting this? I was, but it was I don't know. It's interesting because Crocus is not the same like as person that she obviously knew. So I thought it was interesting, but I'm cold on Crocus and I'm hot on Chalice. So I do not ship this union.
You don't ship it.
No.
AJ, do you think how do you feel like this is going to go?
I mean, I don't know. I can't say how it's gonna go because I really have no idea. I think if anything, I don't know. I could see it either going like she will like kill her husband or something, or just like run off with Cutter or something, or Cutter thinks that's going to happen and she's like, no, I can't do that, you idiot. I'm like married to this guy. Like this is my thing in this city. I don't think we've got a full view. Like obviously she has kind of Chalice has kind of a like want for freedom, I guess, or like a want to just kind of do whatever she wants to do. But also I think was raised and is just like so entrenched in this kind of system of nobility and like the stuff that nobles do, that I don't know if we'll see her cast that aside or not. Because I certainly don't see her like, she's not gonna like hang out with Cutter for the rest of the series. You know what I mean? Like she's not coming into Dust of Dreams and Crippled God, like where Cutter's just, you know, doing whatever the fuck, fighting, you know, the Lord Jesus Christ or something. Like she's not gonna be there for that. So I truly, I have no idea.
Did someone spoil that for you, AJ?
when the Judeo-Christian God shows up, it's like, hello, it is me.
It is me. We will do battle. Chalice to Arl. Josh, do you ship these two?
No, Crocus and Sorry Till I Die.
Yeah.
I do want Chalice to murder her husband though, and then I want her to go to Cutter and be like, be with me, and then I want him to say no, and that sparks her journey of personal growth.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. I like that. I do just want to note that Cutter says like, she didn't correct me that her name's not Chalice to Arl, but Cutter didn't correct her when she called him Crocus Younghand either, which I thought was interesting.
Yes.
Interesting point. Interesting point.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be the last of Darujistan for the first half of the book.
Woo.
So, time to turn our eyes south.
We're halfway down the book?
Pretty much.
Well,
No.
that's the first 2 parts. I don't think we are halfway through the physical book.
We are just shy of being halfway through the book. The book is 1,200 and
The ending is a bit beefy.
69 pages, and we're on page 630. So we are just shy.
A Malazan book having a big ending, Peter. I can't believe you'd even make that joke.
Before we move on, we'd like to take a moment to thank everyone who backs us on Patreon. Joshua, could you send some thanks?
I love doing this. The list isn't up yet. I can just throw some names out of ones I expect to see.
Yeah, just throw out some names of close personal friends you feel like have really supported you.
In my life in general, first off, Corey, my old librarian. Thank you, Corey.
Corey, what up?
Weekly listener. She loves this show. You're the best, Corey.
Wow, she listens to this
Shout
weekly
out.
show.
Yeah.
This bi-weekly show weekly? That's crazy.
Yes. I guess I'd shout out if my student Alex is listening, stop listening to the show.
Alex, stop listening. You heard it here first.
Also, Alex, you've COVID right now. Feel better.
Damn.
Feel better, Alex.
Feel better. Really, really strange shout out section we got going.
Yeah.
India, anyone you'd like to shout out?
I'd like to shout out my friend Jillian. She's letting us record in her apartment basement right now.
So
We are in a
good.
basement under a blanket.
So
It's
good.
very nice though. It's like a whole living room situation. I'd like to thank shout out my mom.
Okay.
My mom is just really cool. And then lastly, I'd like to shout out, that's it.
All right. Just want to quick get my shout out in. I want to shout out. What up? Thanks for getting me here.
You took here?
Yeah, baby.
I love that.
Wow.
Although AJ, cut that. I don't want to give them free publicity.
Yeah.
Agreed.
If they don't pay, we don't say.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Nice.
so bleep that.
Okay. Josh, are you gonna read the?
Yeah. What up? We got 3 this week. Shout outs to my homies Jared, James, and Asin Onyx.
You read that better than I would have. I was reading it as a synonyx.
I was going to, and then I saw the word onyx, and I just decided to really lean into that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for contributing to our Patreon, everybody. That Star Trek episode will be up eventually.
I just put up my Doctor Strange thoughts. All right. Here we go. Chapter 12. Endus Salon recalls Animander Rape, Silchus Ruin, and Andarist speaking together in Karkanas, preparing for war. They speak of the grave sin of spilling your kin's blood, betrayal, and Endus wonders if they knew then that they would be torn apart. Endus then speaks in the present with Brood, speaking of Jaghead and Fulcral Assail, their differences and what they stand for. Seer Daman kills a conspirator and thinks about soldiers and their guilt and what it means to fight and kill for justice. Salind is going to visit the Redeemer, thinking about faith and what a Church of the Redeemer would look like. She is abducted by Gradathan, who forces her to drink Simon Kellic. In the bar, Spinnock and Seer Daman speak about Seer Daman's killing, the sparing of murder, and the tale of Whiskey Jack. They realize what is happening with Salin, and Seer Daman quickly leaves. At camp, Samar, Traveler, and Carson talk about histories, civilizations, and the old empire. At Bastion, and Andy are carrying Clip and sneaking into the city. They enter the building, and Desra fights through priests inside. Nananda and Kedivus are fighting, but are pushed into the building. Skintech helps Demander with Clip's body, and they are pushed into the building. They enter the altar room, and Demander feels strange. Seer Daman thinks Spinnock should have helped sooner. And as he gets closer to Salin, he is knocked out by Gradathan. Seer Daman is dragged into the tent, and they speak of the dying god. They can almost taste the faraway sacrifice. Seer Daman hears Itkovian, who tells him what he has to do. He has to fight Salin, who is under a storm of darkness. Itkovian speaks of gods and answers, and Seer Daman rises to fight Salin. Animander Rake comes to speak to Spinnock at the tavern. Spinnock holds his tongue about Salin, and is told that it is all right to fail, but the impossible is not expected of us. Skintick tries to follow the others and sees the dancing all around him of the followers of the dying god. Demander finds himself in a strange room, filled with dolls, almost like scarecrows. The dying god speaks of consuming so many gods and their powers, then of riding machines, then sets his eyes on Clip. Demander thinks one of the dolls must be the god and starts attacking them. Seer Daman meets Salin in battle. Orantha joins Demander in speaking of the dying god, then summons him, speaks to the husband of Nightchill, Bellerden Skullcrusher, and holds the puppet in her hand. The human followers of the dying god have been killed or fled, and finally Clip awakens. Seer Daman holds off Salin, and she retreats. Seer Daman says he will stay by the Redeemer to give him someone to speak to. Munkrat and Gratithan look at Seer Daman's body and call for more Kelly. Solana wakes, but Drake calms her. Kalor walks towards an upcoming convergence. Thinking on his power and failure, he decides to destroy civilization. So, Josh, here we get kind of a little Karkanas prequel series sneak peek.
Woo!
A little flashback.
You know it.
What's your interest in this prequel Karkanas stuff?
Very little as of this moment. I'm learning that it's about this Andy city, which, I mean, there is a part of me that's interested in that, to, like, see the Tisty Andy before they became very, like, emotionalist. So, I mean, that could be interesting. It's not something that I want right now, but when we finish the 10th book, maybe. You know, it's possible that I'll decide, like, you know what, I do want some more. Let me go on and you know, read about Karkanas. But at this moment in time, it is not something that I'm, like, you know, dying for. But it seems interesting. Okay, so Pete's lost connectivity. I'm gonna read his question. Read their question.
Mm-hmm.
So, AJ, would you say you're more of a Jaghut or a Forkrel Asail?
Personally, I think I'm kind of more of a Jaghead, because the Jagheads seem, for the most part, pretty, no pun intended, chill. And the Forkrel Assail seem like all they want to fucking do is murder.
But see, I think I'm the opposite. See, I think Forkrel Assail are passionate.
Oh,
and I
interesting.
think the Jackhat are kind of cold. They're a little cold.
Yeah,
for my care.
I think that still holds for me. I hate to say it. I'm not a super passionate person.
I hear you. That's fine.
You know, things I do like, but I'm not like, I'm not one of those people that'll get super into a thing and then like look up everything I can about it most of the time. Unless it's like something like Metal Gear Solid, which for some reason really grabbed me. But
I love that. I've never played a single game and I don't understand it.
Ooh, there's so much out there, but I think that's what it is. I think it's like stuff like Metal Gear Solid that has like a bunch of like gray areas or seems like generally pretty obtuse, or like Undertale, which is like purposefully underwritten in some areas. Or I was just thinking of another one the other day and I can't remember what it is. But stuff like that where I can like get into an online community, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you. That's really cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm saying is I think Jaghuts are super into theorycraft YouTube videos.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
I just feel like Forkrel Assails have big golden retriever energy, and that is my...
What?
Is that what that means? I keep seeing it on
No, I mean, I
TikTok.
get what you mean, but like, would you say a Forkrel Assail has that energy? Why?
I mean, you know, if you were like... I think they just seem very easily distractible. And I really jive with that.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, we saw what's-his-face has been doing the dumb shit in his little fake room for, like, literally, like, millennia. Gothos has been doing his shit for the millennia as a Jackhat.
Yeah.
And I feel like a Forkrel Assail is just way more just kind of like, what are we doing? All right. And just kind of, like, going with it.
Yeah, fair enough. Josh, can I ask you a question? How are you playing Elden Ring?
Badly.
Well, but like, what's your, do you have an MO?
Yeah,
really?
So here's the deal. Yesterday, one of my kids fucking clowned on me really hard. He's beaten the game 8 times already, and he like fully dissected everything I've done wrong. And I might restart. Right now, I've got this like shitty Faith Dex build, and I need to just
Dex.
Dude, it was a mistake. I started Faith because I liked the character with the spear and shield. Mm-hmm. I got through Margit and Godric with my fireball spell, and then I kind of really wanted to go more melee. I found the Uchigatana, switched to a dex build, but then I like realized I didn't want to just use the Uchigatana, so I was going back more towards Faith. I got a cool scythe built up to that, but that scythe, which I spent a lot of levels getting the stats for, kind of handles like dog shit, and I don't like it. So
that winged scythe, right?
Yes, winged scythe. Yeah, and I'm in the academy, and I don't have a really good ranged ability other than my fireball, which has too big of a wind up. Those motherfuckers just blast so fast. So I might restart when the summer hits. I don't think I'm going to play it much till the end of the school year. So, and then I might just restart and go from there.
I was really asking because I feel like I'm playing mine in kind of a Jackhat way where I'm just kind of like meandering through every single like place. I'm like, oh, what's over here? I'm just kind of chilling. I'm vibing. I'm, whatever. I will spend a long time just like trying to defeat one enemy to try and get to an area that I don't even know if I really need to get there yet. But if you're playing it as a fork or sail, I feel like you're just quickly moving around. Josh, you really just have to power through and get through the.
I know I have to beat the academy, and then I can respec. And I'm gonna give it the old college try. Right next time I play, I'll play for a couple days and see if I can get through it. And if I can't, I'll just restart. That's life. I do think there's a good chance I'm gonna restart. Hey, you guys are back. We did it.
Josh, I don't know how much of that's going to stay in the podcast, but I hope listeners that you enjoyed Josh and AJ's hangout time.
Stalling for others moments.
AJ, did you answer my question?
Fork, sailor, Jaghead? Yeah, I think I'm more of a Jaghead because they seem, no pun intended, more chill.
What did you make of this conversation about their philosophical ideas?
Yeah, we really kind of, we can move past it. AJ and I ironed this out, The audience
all right,
heard
you've
it.
ironed it out. I will take your word. I did not listen to it, but, let the listener be the judge.
No, I think this scene was nice to see Caladan Brood again. That's fun. I don't know.
He's the big hammer.
You did not seem stoked on Caladan Brood when we talked about it last week.
Me?
The gang.
I like Caladan Brood. He's cool.
Who didn't seem stoked about Caladan Brood?
All right, well, we can move on. Josh... There's this whole conversation around guilt here. I would say it's a pretty heavy mood.
Oh, with Seardaman, sorry. Yeah, I think right now most of what Seardaman's talking about is pretty fucking heavy, so not super shocked.
I think Seardaman feels a fair amount of guilt.
I think that is being generous. So, yeah, I really like getting into his head. I think he's a very interesting character overall. We do hear a lot of soldiers' perspectives throughout the series. So, but I think Seardaman is about as eloquent as they come for a murder man for hire.
India has declared to me guilt is a useless emotion.
Oh,
I don't believe in guilt.
Now, do
you think Seardaman's just? I
think that Seardaman doesn't have a lot going on. And would rather just focus on the negative, but at the end of the day, what do we really think the Seardaman was going to be like to want to be hanging around the fucking Redeemer? Did we think that he was going to be a happy-go-lucky guy? Itkovian was a big guilt. Give me your sadness. I'll take it on.
Do you know, if you think guilt is useless, what about regret? Do you think they go hand in hand, or is one okay?
No, there's a difference between regret and guilt. Guilt is a useless emotion because there's no point in feeling like you shouldn't have done something because you already did it. Regret, however, I think teaches you to not do it again.
I love this.
Interesting.
I love that.
Okay.
I hate guilt, though. I don't believe in it. Don't feel guilty about anything.
So don't feel sad about the thing. Just learn from it and do better in the future.
Yeah.
Right. Do better is my favorite line to tell people. Do better. If you're in that's why I hate the word sorry. I hate when people say sorry to me.
Would you rather say
don't say sorry.
Oh.
Malazan podcast, baby. Well, I don't know. Me and Indy have talked about this before, but I feel lots of guilt. That's the Catholic life, baby. So you're not going to talk me out of it.
I guess not.
All right, Josh.
Yes.
The only thing I care about, we can't just skip to. So let's try and get through some of this. All right. So Josh, Saland has a bad time.
Yeah.
In this chapter.
I think a lot of bad things in these books happen to people because they forget that people are shitty. Or that God's...
lots of that happens to lots of people.
Right? Yeah, I know. But just what is she thinking? Oh, our God... His awesome whack right over the head. It happens so often in these dumb books where someone just becomes I've been given a vision and instantly knocked out by some asshole who I don't know. People just get it in their heads that all bad things are gone, and then they're not. And it irks me because I don't think that is truthfully great motivation for characters. You know what I mean? Like, it is very hard for me to understand Celind, who has until this point been a pretty darn level-headed person, just walk back into this barrow that she has not been at for days, completely unguarded, half sick. Like, it just makes no sense to me. And I did not like the motivation of her going back, personally.
Let's see. Like, you didn't believe it.
Yeah, it just felt like, well, she needs to go here and get hit, so it's got to happen.
I agree. I actually really do agree with that.
Yeah.
AJ, how did you feel?
I mean, I get what you're saying, Josh. And it's like, I don't know, I guess it's a bit frustrating, but like, I don't know, man. I don't know if like what's your main issue with this stuff that had happened here? That she just like went and didn't think about the fact that there are bad people around, like, that were probably gonna knock her out or whatever?
The Redeemer spoke to her through pregnant woman, and she was like, all right, now time to enter into this barrow that when I last left was on the verge of utter chaos and consistently featured murder and rape, and I'm sure has only gotten completely fine and fixed in the 4 days I was asleep in a temple.
Yeah.
That annoys me. And then later with the Seardaman and Spinnock thing, Spinnock just not Seardaman just not being like, hey, Spinnock, you should 100% come help me because I am one human. And there are a lot of them. Like, that also annoyed me. But I get it. The scene that happens later had to happen. So, but I don't know. Just, it's one of those things where, like, a movie only
Do you mean the fight between them?
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like one of those, like, I understand there is character reasons why Seardaman isn't asking for help. But it also seems crazy that Spinnock doesn't follow Seardaman at all. I don't know. It's just a lot of people being bad at thinking through things or talking to each other, and all of it annoyed me. If any one of them had spoken to any of the other three and shared their thoughts or plans, then they wouldn't be dead or whatever they are.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but part of me, and I think this just comes down to whether you buy into this characters or this motivation or something, is seeing it more as kind of this tragic situation that kind of happens because of how these people are and kind of are broken in a sense. And not like, oh, well, like, why isn't Spinnock whatever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I hear you. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's backed up by character motivation. I just, like, it seems illogical. It like a bit too illogical for me to fully buy in. But that's just me. It's fine.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Well, we'll loop around on in this. India, did anything jump out of you in the conversation at the camp with Traveler and Karsa and them?
I like Traveler and Karsa. I like that they are, like, boys. I also, something that I thought was funny was that when Kalor says that he's going to destroy civilization, I feel angry. I'm like, fuck you, Kalor. Like, who do you think you are?
Yes.
When Karsa says he's going to destroy civilization, I'm like, yeah, Karsa, go for it. Destroy those motherfuckers. So I think that if I learned anything from this, like, these are high key my new favorite characters. Traveler, Karsa, and Samar are like the trio to beat. I think it's funny that Samar is kind of like thought that maybe Traveler was going to be a little more like, I don't know, if she was just like concerned about how Karsa was going to react or like whatever, but it turns out that she's just becoming a third wheel on this bromance, and I am here for it. So that's how I felt. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I really like Traveler. I love Karsa, and I'm really pulling for him to destroy civilization.
But you're not pulling for Kalor to destroy civilization.
Absolutely not. There's a huge difference from when Karsa says it and what Kalor means when he says it.
When Karsa says it, it's very hot.
No, it's not even that. It's just like, I don't know. I really like it. I love Karsa.
Like, I would let Karsa destroy me. I would not let Kalor destroy me.
Facts.
In any
Karsa
sense,
will do
in
it with
any
intention.
sense, any sense of the word destroy that you wish.
God.
I agree. Karsa, and but maybe it's just like we haven't seen like any good side to Kalor, which is probably what it is. But Karsa, it's like he's funny, he's silly, like he kills people, but it's funny when he does it. To tell me it's not funny when he does it.
Honestly,
are you kidding?
Honestly, I fully understand where India's coming from.
Thank you, Josh.
Fully got it.
Here's one thing about Kalor.
Mm-hmm.
You'll recall that he was talking about the mother of his children and how sometimes he would lock them in these towers.
Correct.
You know, he at least gave them a tower. That's kind.
Literally, his
love that
reasoning
thought.
for doing so was so rude. Like, they get old and it's like, gotta lock them away. They're good for nothing. And also kill their children.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
There's nothing redeeming about
No
that.
one's ever built me a tower.
When you put it like that, you're not wrong. But also it's giving like Rapunzel vibes. Like, you
Giving
can't leave
Rapunzel
the
vibes.
tower.
Oh, it's bad vibes.
Right.
But,
Like Shrek and Fiona vibes. Fiona in the tower.
Shrek put a Fiona in the tower?
No, but Fiona was in the tower.
I thought it was more of a castle.
It was a castle.
Well, castles have towers. A castle can have multiple towers.
I recently rewatched all of Shrek silently on the plane rest ahead of me. So I revisited the great adventures of Mr. Shrek.
Oh my gosh.
I need a hero.
It is an interesting parallel, since I guess we're mentioning it, with Kalor talking about destroying civilization. I think it's great. It's good. It's good.
It is good.
It's good.
It's good.
Good job, Steve.
Yeah.
It's like two different, whatever. We don't need to get into it. But all right, let's get to, I would say we can get to some of the dancing battle stuff later. Let's get to kind of the biggest part of this chapter, or the part that interests me the most. AJ, kind of the dying god, house, battle, puppets, all this stuff.
Yeah, it's fucking metal, dude. Sick as hell.
Tell me about it.
Everything.
It was sick. I mean, like, just finding the dying god's lair or whatever, that whole speech about, like, we're the bottom feeders and then everything comes down to the bottom, so I know everything or whatever. And then fucking being a puppet because they met Hairlock or whatever. And then are we talking about the reveal of who it is also? Do you...
Crazy, right?
Fucking incredible.
Fucking wild.
Incredible.
My man, absolutely bonkers. What the fuck?
No way, you guys. Like, things totally you did not expect to come back to be in book 8.
No, not at all. And like the fact that it's like, just the fact that it's Belladin at all, and the fact that it's like, oh, because she like threw you out of her body, which I guess is a fucking thing that wizards with a lot of other wizards in their body can do, is just decide they don't want one anymore and discard it. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
This person, when we read book 1, I was so not interested in these people, and apparently what a fucking mistake that was, because they have come back multiple times, and I'm still confused on all of them.
Because in book 1, if you'll remember,
they're in like 2 scenes. They're in less than that.
Yeah.
they were like not even like a thought. They were already dead, like, or some shit. And,
Exactly.
And we only were
What's
getting.
your face? The girl was dead, and he was mourning her, and then he
Right.
tries to. It's
And then
Yeah, and
Makes
then
you mad.
they're both inside of what's her name? Oh my god.
Oh, that's what it
Tattersail.
is. They're inside
Tattersail.
I knew there was some reason they came up again. I
Well,
forgot they're in Tattersail.
They're not both inside. It wasn't only Night Chill.
Night Chill's inside.
No.
But this guy, we hear about this guy another time, and I can't remember
It was
when.
both of them. They were
I
both
feel like it was with Silver Fox or whatever her fucking name
In
was.
Silver Fox.
Silver Fox.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
I
were
was
both
right.
You are.
They were both in there. They were both in there.
Guys, I just want. Can we just really quickly call out that I remembered something?
Well,
India,
we were
you
calling
remember a
Silver
lot.
Fox Tattersail.
Yeah.
You remember more than you give yourself credit for.
But yeah,
She's
so
pretty crazy. This always rings in my head as like one of those things you're like, holy shit, can't believe that came back.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That's
that's
just
wild.
crazy, fucking crazy.
there's just no clues as to like how there's no way anybody would ever like logic their way to this conclusion.
No way. No way.
And also, well, I guess vaguely this is the only other puppet-esque related thing, but it's not like there's a lot of puppet hints before this,
No,
you know?
yeah, there's
Yeah.
this room full of puppets, and I was like, oh, this is kind of like Hairlock, but I never even
I knew
for a
it.
I'm
moment.
impressed. I'm impressed with the two of you. I fully forgot about Hairlock. I read his name like 3 times before. I was like, who the Oh.
As soon as I saw puppets, I knew. I
was-
literally knew.
Well, you
I
knew
was
what?
so
Well, to be fair,
Hairlock.
Well, but Hairlock
Hairlock
was
is one of those random characters who's in it and like not a huge dude, you know?
Hairlock
Yes,
does some
yes.
shit. Hairlock like fully
Hairlock
gets
did some crazy shit.
yeah.
He
Hairlock
used to,
gets
like,
fully corrupted by chaos and is like
Yeah, and like traveling. Who did Hairlock fuck with? Tick. Talk.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm aware, but I'm saying in the grand scheme of the series, if you were like, who's a big Malazan character, you wouldn't be like Hairlock.
Yeah, but if you asked me like who's a big Malazan character in the first book, Hairlock would be in that list.
Okay, well, if you
Correct.
completely
Oh my God,
changed
AJ,
the
we
question,
just said the same thing. I agree.
Yeah.
I reject your answers full cloth. So,
But I guess, even now, I wouldn't say like the Dying God is a big character in all of Malazan. You know what I mean?
well,
Like,
of course, that would be wrong.
so then what's the okay? So
Anyway,
just because he's not one of these
Bellarmine's back,
mythic
baby.
characters doesn't. Anyway, yeah. So he's here now, I guess. What the fuck?
Well, he's
And what
here
does
and
that
now
mean?
immediately gone and dead.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah, maybe because the puppet didn't talk when she grabbed it. But oh yeah, also Arantha, huh?
What the fuck is with these goddamn Tisty Eater kids?
Tisty Andy.
What the fuck ever. They all have magical powers. Also, I really hate when like we only ever seen Amander fight from his point of view, and he's always like, God, I'm so bad. And then in this one of them's just like, I love watching Amander fight.
Yeah.
He's actually an incredible swordsman. He never thinks that about himself. And I was like, well, that's an unreliable narrator then, because I've thought he was shit this whole time.
Yeah. Well, it's Desra, right? Because she said
Imposter
the same thing in the
syndrome.
last book. In
Yes.
the last chapter, she's like, yeah, he's only one of the only worthy ones. It's like, okay, we get you have a crush. Okay.
He's staying humble. Hashtag humble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was that good?
No, it's
did you,
great.
Did you
Yeah.
like that?
It's good. Yeah,
really good.
Did it really relate to the internet? Be humble.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're good, bud.
Yeah, I'm with it.
Quit while you're ahead.
All right. Well, yeah, that was a great scene. This is an awesome part, and one of the. I have nothing else to say. Cool scene. All
Neither do
good
I.
stuff.
Pretty
Loved
great.
Loved it.
Pretty great.
This is what I do. This is what I do.
I'm literally sitting next to her. She's opened up the phone to play a game while we're on mic. I'm a foot away from her.
I'm honestly, part of me is glad we didn't record today because you would have seen how much I just am off task the entire time.
Well, if we were in my office, to be fair, we would.
I would have found
be-
anything there was to look at and just stared at it.
Josh, did you ever get into the fidget spinner life?
No, I don't need my hands to be entertained. I need my eyeballs and brain to constantly have whatever that word is for things to do.
Stimulation.
Thank you.
Stimulation. Shout out, and Amanda Rake shows up and encourages Spinock to fail sometimes and lets him know that's all right.
But like doesn't read the room because Spinock's like, just say I can follow her, or just tell him that I love her. Again, everyone should share their feelings more often.
Do you get the impression that Tisty Andy are big feeling sharers?
No.
Exactly not, and that's why I think they should do it more often.
I feel like they only share their emotions when they're like, this water is much like silence.
Yeah, they do love
With
that
ripples
water,
deep.
don't they?
Right. Everything's a metaphor.
Anywho's, so AJ, then there's this kind of battle.
Yeah.
Ish, there's this Seer Daman and Saland have this battle. What do you make of this whole scene? And then when Seer Daman ends up hanging out.
He ends up hanging out. No, I mean, I don't know.
Do you like how I put that?
Yeah, I think it's really exactly what happened. I think it's like really sad, actually. Because it's it's sad what happened to Saland. I don't know, and for her to I guess finally accept the Redeemer or whatever, which I guess was her whole, the culmination of her whole arc. If she didn't become some sort of gross weapon, but I don't know. It's just sad, I guess. But in a way, she was talking about earlier, right before she went back to the thing, she was, having her conflict of faith or whatever. And it's like, what's the difference between a cult and a religion? And
sure. She's thinking about what the church would be.
Right. And all that stuff. She's like, well, I have to go do this. I have to go, accept the Redeemer so that I can ask him questions and stuff like that and force him to whatever. And I think in a way, her having been corrupted and forcing Seer Daman to fight and all this is kind of also doing that same thing of strengthening his convictions in favor of the Redeemer, I guess. I don't know. That's just me trying to make kind of a good read out of this really shitty thing.
Yeah. I loved her whole inner battle about if a god will forgive anybody for anything with no work, does that make it somehow lesser? There's no work involved. I loved that. I thought that was so fascinating, and like easily was like, oh, Steve, you're just planting all of the seeds of like all of human corruption of religion. So good.
Yeah.
Well, additionally, I think like, how do we forgive bad people? How do you? How do you deal with people who have done bad things? What does it mean to be redeemed? Air quotes.
Yeah.
What does it mean to be forgiven? Air quotes.
Yeah.
Can that be granted by religion? Who grants forgiveness?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I think it's a very interesting topic, especially when you get into churches or gods granting forgiveness.
I think it's interesting too. I talked a bit in the Discord about this in this past week about the difference between like compassion and redemption.
Sure.
And how Edcovian was, you know, the shield anvil and their whole thing is compassion at any cost. Sorry if you hear my cat meowing.
Unacceptable.
But then in death, you know, it's this idea of like, how is that interpreted by other people? You know what I mean? Because Edcovian's dead, so he can't say exactly, you know, what he meant or whatever. And it's, you know, I think it speaks more to this idea of religion generally, of just like, you know, nobody knows exactly whatever higher power may want. It's just kind of however you read this person's actions, and whatever you think it is. And so I think this distinction between redemption, which in my opinion is some sort of like, I don't know, like achieving like a forgiveness or something, or doing something to make up for a thing you did in the past, as opposed to like giving compassion freely, which was Edcovian's whole thing, which is just like, you know, being able to look past somebody's past, I guess. Which isn't any sort of like active like forgiveness or anything. It's just like, I'm not gonna look at it, you know, whatever. I don't know. I just think that's interesting.
Yeah, well, I think there's a difference. And to me, redemption is something that in theory, someone who's done something wrong is about them. And, you know, compassion comes from outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But to touch on the thing you said about the gods, I also think that's what I like about the kind of staying with the Redeemer, staying with Edcovian, is this comment that obviously, as we've talked a lot about in these books about gods and what is the relationship of asking gods and answers from them and what do you want out of it, the idea that you and the god kind of have a mutually beneficial relationship, and that you and ideology, you and a philosophy, you and a belief system kind of have a relationship that's a back and forth in which you build on it and it builds on you, I think is, you know, obviously a healthier idea than kind of one kind of controlling the other, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So I really like some of the stuff here, and the fight is sad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, Seerdaman hangs out.
Seerdaman hangs out, and so does Salin. They're both, you know, everyone hangs out and it's chill. You know, nothing to look into. Don't think about it. Clip wakes up.
Ugh. He's insufferable.
He is not #grateful. He is not he's not staying humble. And lastly, Solana and Rake. I heard you guys talking about them banging earlier. That was like the only thing that got through during the troubled audio
I
times.
asked if Animander Rake was a top or bottom, and AJ decided Animander Rake is a reluctant, kind of tired bottom.
Yeah, and unenthusiastic is the word I used.
And then I asked if we thought that he had to be a dragon to fuck, and then AJ posited that it's possible Animander Rake full body inserts into Solana.
Wait.
Holy shit.
Wait, what?
Is that going in the podcast?
I mean, this part at least is. I don't know about the original conversation.
Yeah.
AJ's a fucking horn dog.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to process that. Well, listen, that's going to do it for us here today on 10 Very Big Books.
Well, I mean, Kaller talks more about taking the throne of the cripple god and stuff.
No, I think I'd like to end on AJ's full body fingering.
Yeah, I was the full body. Oh my God. Well, I just wanted to go out on that, and it's a very strange episode, but I'm glad to have been in the meat space with India Jones.
Mm-hmm. We're hugging. You can't see it, but we're and now we're touching hands. We're really just touching.
Nice.
Touching.
At all times.
Wow.
And I hope everyone is well, and I hope no one has the novel coronavirus. That's my hope.
Woo! Yeah. You heard it here first. We hope nobody has the novel coronavirus.
That's my new thing for 2022. No novel coronavirus.
No novel coronavirus, and PB and IJ together in the meat space.
In the meat space.
Woo!
Josh, do you have anything to say?
Predictions?
Predictions or anything? Nothing.
We don't need to do predictions.
We hate
Yeah.
predictions.
What do I
Josh,
have
would you
any
full body
idea?
insert?
No.
Josh, have you full-bodied insert?
Look, if my hands and mouth can't do it, God didn't want it done.
I'm actually leaving this now.
Bye, everybody. See you in a couple
Josh,
of weeks.
your students listen to the show. Your students listen to the show, Josh. All right, everybody. Let someone know about the show on the internet. Thanks so much for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hello, everybody. Producer AJ here, and I am so sorry. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you'd like to give us your thoughts or feelings about this or any of our episodes, you can always email us 10verybigbooks@gmail.com, tweet us at 10verybigbooks, or you can head on over to our Discord, bit.ly/VBB Discord. That's capital V, capital B, capital B, capital D Discord. That link will also be in the show notes. Thank you to all of our wonderful patrons over on Patreon. If you'd like to financially support the show, you can head on over to patreon.com/10verybigbooks. That link is also in the show notes. And as always, thank you so very much to Dan Geserick for making our spectacular cover art. You can follow him on Twitter at @A_W_Dan G for the hottest new hit single by Kate Bush, Running Up That Hill Takes. And of course, the wonderful music in today's episode, including the remixed intro and outro tracks, is by the one, the only Amaranthin from his album Simulant Rain, which you can find along with his other music on bandcamp.com. Links to their pages will be in the show notes, and 10 Very Big Books will be back in 2 weeks on June 24th, talking about chapters 13 and 14 of Toll the Hounds. I'll talk to you then, and thank you so much for listening.
AJ, if you had to guess, would you say Anamander Rake is a top or a bottom when it comes with Solanda or whatever her name is? Solana, that's her name.
I think Anamander Rake at this point is a very unenthusiastic bottom.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think he fucks.
You see, and the follow-up question is, do you think I mean, he's got a fucking dragon form, right? He's got to like shift into dragon form and then fuck?
I mean, there are other options that I don't want to talk about on the podcast.
You've got me intrigued. I don't even know what that could mean, AJ.
I mean, Josh, is there really a more phallic symbol than just the human, or the human
The human
form?
body?
Yeah.
Oh my god, AJ.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying.
Wow. God.
Anyway, Josh in India, or Pete in India, how you doing?